হ্যালো ভিউয়ার্স, আসসালামু আলাইকুম। কেমন আছেন সবাই? অলরেডি আপনারা জানেন যে আজ আমাদের লাইভ প্রোগ্রামে গেস্ট হিসেবে আছেন কুলিভিড ইন্টারন্যাশনাল অফিসার পাথওয়ে, ইউকে
Morning.
ইন্টারনেট অ্যান্ড
Afternoon.
সাউথ এশিয়া QA Higher Education. Thanks, brother, to attend this live program.
You're more
And
than welcome.
okay. He will give us all sort of information about study in UK and request to our honorable guest to start the session. Please give your introduction, then start presentation.
Okay.
Thanks.
Afternoon. I believe it is over in Bangladesh. So afternoon, guys. My name's Kully. I work for QA Higher Education. I work for the South Asia team. And today, what I'll just do, what I'll be doing is I'll just be going through some information about who QA are, our university partners, why we think you should choose us, and I'll be able to answer any kind of questions you have. Especially during these uncertain times around COVID, is it safe to come to the UK? All of that stuff. So what I'll do is I will begin. Let me just start sharing my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Just let it load up. Should only take a minute.
Okay, no problem.
How are you keeping anyway? Are you keeping well?
Okay.
Yeah. How are you keeping? Is everything okay?
Yes, everything okay.
Good. Okay, so today what I'll be doing is I'll be introducing the UK, a bit more information about the UK and why we think you should look at coming to the UK, QA and QA higher education, our future plans, the partners and courses that we're offering, the pathways, the postgraduate programs, and so forth. So I'll start with why study in the UK. At the moment, you have, as an international student, it's never been a better time to be an international student, because you have so many countries that are vying for your business, so to speak. So, I just wanted to cover a few points about why we think the UK is one of the best countries to come and study for international students. So start with the highest standard of education. The great thing with coming to the UK and getting a British degree is, that no matter where life takes you, whether you stay in the UK or whether you go back home, or if you go to Canada, America, Australia, or pretty much wherever you go around the world, that this degree is going to help open doors for you. It just goes to show 3 of the top 10 universities that are in the world are based in the UK. You really do get skills that employers want. As I mentioned earlier, one of the main reasons that you're coming to the UK or looking to come to the UK is to get that degree, which will then open up the doors for you. And the great thing with these UK degrees is that it does, they are globally recognized. Just goes to show 1 in 4 world leaders in today's world has at one point studied in the UK. You gain access to world leading research. The UK is at the forefront of research globally. And you might have read in the news that, for example, with COVID, that Oxford University has pretty much, I think 90% confirmed that they're a fix for a vaccine for COVID. So it just shows you how powerful that the universities and the research power that the UK has. Another really good point about coming to the UK is that the course length is a lot shorter than other countries. So if you compare a master's program to Australia, Canada, or America, their programs are 2 years. In the UK, you have the course is 1 year. So, you save time and you save money. World-class support and guidance. The UK is one of the only countries in the world whose government monitors the teaching that goes on in the universities. So there's a department called the Teaching and Excellence Framework, and they go around and ensure that every state university is teaching at a high standard. And another key thing is experienced student life. When you come to the UK, you're not going to be, as a student, you're not going to be studying all the time. So you're going to have a lot of downtime. And the great thing with the UK is you get to experience what a truly multicultural country is. The UK welcomes over 400,000 students to the UK every year from pretty much every country from Azerbaijan all the way to Zimbabwe and every other country in between. So when you come to the UK, you'll be in a class with students from all over the world. That just enhances your kind of you get a lot more culture, a lot more experience of how other cultures work, how other countries work, and it just adds to that experience. So basically, who are QA? So QA, we were set up around 30 years ago, and we were set up as an IT training provider. And in 30 years, we have grown to become one of the world's largest IT trainers. So, and the business is kind of split into 4 different parts. So we have a learning part of the business, which trains over 6,000 corporate. We have work with over 6,000 corporate clients, including 80% of the top 250 FTSE listed companies in the UK. We have an apprenticeship arm of the business that works as the UK's largest provider of apprenticeships. We have a consultancy arm of the business, and we have the higher education arm of the business, which is what I'm here today to discuss. So, we work with 4 universities, and we offer courses from English all the way up to postgraduate. Another reason why you should look, I think, at the UK is the market growth for the UK is set to grow. The pound at the moment is probably the weakest that I've seen it for a very, very long time. So, you do get a lot more value for money at the moment. And I think one of the biggest selling tools that I can say about coming to the UK to study is the reintroduction of the post-study work visa. So any student that now enrolls for a course and starts in September, once they've completed it, they have the option of applying for a 2-year post-study work visa. So it just gives you the opportunity to stay in the UK a bit longer, get some more work experience, and as I said, whether you want to stay in the UK or whether you want to go back home or wherever life takes you, it's good to kind of get that working experience. What I will really kind of go on about today is employability. Your CV is what sells you and what gets you the jobs, and to have a really strong, a top British degree, some work experience, and then for a multinational company, and 2 years worth of work experience in the UK, that's going to open up so many doors for you wherever life takes you. The UK is as a destination is very stable. There's a lot of chaos going on in the world at the moment. A lot of countries are not very safe. The great thing with the UK is it is a very safe and stable country. And we also do have regional supports in country. So we work with partners like we do today, who will be able to guide and assist you as well. I'll go on to a bit more about the diverse how QA work in terms of our cohorts or our intakes. What we try to offer our students is a truly diverse international experience. So as you can see from this map, if you were to join this graph, this chart here, if you were to join QA, you're going to be in a cohort or a class, an intake full of international students from all over the world. For example, our students, 17% of our students come from the Middle East, 21% come from the UK and Europe, 10% come from Africa, 20% from South Asia, 19% from East Asia. So, as I mentioned earlier, it's all about gaining that cultural knowledge, that cultural experience. And the great thing with coming to QA is we do offer that. Just on a quick word on our products and why they work. So, we've been around for 30 years. We're one of the world's largest IT training providers, and we are industry leaders in the following subject areas. So cyber, computing, technology, digital, business analytics, digital marketing, accounting, and finance. If you are interested in any of these courses, then as I said, QA, we are industry leaders in what we do in these sectors. We have the integration of a work placement. So what you can do is you can come to the UK, again, look at your CV. You've got a really strong university on there, and you pretty much are guaranteed that work placement, which then just helps you when you move forward. We have a 1 and 2 year study option. We have multiple intakes a year. So we have a January, May, and September intake, and we also offer pre-session and pre-master routes. what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly go through or go into detail a bit more about our university partners and the cities they're based in. You know, as I mentioned earlier, look, there's never been a better time to be an international student, and especially when you're looking at the UK. The UK has over 150 universities, and a lot of them will be, you know, and you have that option of picking any one of those. So, you know, a lot of the universities have to kind of really promote what they do. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to quickly go through this. So I'll start with Ulster University. So QA owns and operates the London and Birmingham campuses. A bit more about the cities themselves. So, you know, I think a lot of people will, it's the first time you guys will ever have left your home country. So it's good to know where you're going to be living, because it's not just the university, it's where you're going to be spending the next 1, 2, 3 or 4 years of your life. So Birmingham is a city which is in the middle of the UK. It's about an hour 20 minutes from London, and I cannot promote Birmingham enough. You know, I was born in Birmingham. It's home for me, and I love this city. It's what I love about Birmingham is very, very multicultural. You know, we've got a large South Asian community here, and the great thing is, look, a lot of the students, it's going to be the first time they've left home, so they'll come to the UK. Some people will get homesick. Some people, you know, you might miss the food that you used to eat back home. Great thing with Birmingham is because we have a large South Asian community, you know, you can go down the road and buy the food that you used to eat at home. There's a lot of mosques, gurdwaras, temples, so you can get that religious aspect. And there's a lot more, there's a real community feel around the city itself. It's about Birmingham is probably one of the fastest growing cities in Europe in terms of infrastructure. Huge amount of investment is coming into the city, you know, from the likes of HSBC moving their headquarters here, largest library in Europe, more canals than Venice. Over 65,000 students come to Birmingham every year, so we've got a really good student vibe as well. Great thing with Ulster University and the London and Birmingham campuses is they are city centre campuses. So getting in and out of the campuses is going to be very easy, because the transport links into every city is really good in the UK. A bit more about the university itself. So the University of Ulster has students from over 100 countries come into it every year. It's in the world's top 150 young universities, and it was shortlisted for University of the Year last year. You know, out of 150 universities, just to be shortlisted just shows you how well this university takes itself is doing in terms of teaching and the kind of the degrees that students are getting, and how employable those students are when they then get into jobs. Move on to Northumbria University. So there's 2 campuses that we're offering: London campus and the main campus in Newcastle. Newcastle as a city is a bit further up north in the UK, so it's about 3 hours on train from London. And I firmly believe, look, in the UK, the further up north you go, the cheaper and more friendly people become. The cheaper the cost of living is, and the more friendly people are. Newcastle itself is an amazing city. It's regularly being voted in the top 5, top 3, and top sort of student cities for experience. And I think this is because 1 in every 6 people in Newcastle is a student. So, you know, a lot of the amenities, a lot of the stuff around the city is geared for student life. The university itself is one of the top ranked universities that QA work with. So it's a top 50. It's ranked in the top 50 in the UK. Its global ranking is 351. So imagine, you know, if you've got a top 50 ranked university on your top 50 ranked UK university on your CV, just going back home, that is going to open up so many doors. I know in South Asia, a lot of the multinational companies require, or if they're looking to employ you, you need to have like a strong degree from a British university. And to have a top 50 university, top 351st university in the world, that is just going to open so many more doors for you. The university, again, is ranked number 1 for graduate startups, and it was voted top university for student experience last year. So again, you know, a lot of this reverts back to where the university is. And as I said, look, when you come to study in the UK, studying is only a part of the whole experience. You know, you're going to be spending as I said, the next 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 years studying, living in and around where your university is, and to actually live in a city which has been voted the top student experience, or a university that gives you the best experience throughout the UK, really should, I think it's something that you should really consider. I'll move on to our third university partner. So it's Solent University, based in Southampton. Southampton is right at the bottom of the UK, so it's a coastal city, and a lot like Birmingham. It's about an hour, 20 minutes from London. So the commute, if you wanted to get into London and see the sights of London, but not live in there because it's one of the most expensive cities, Southampton does offer a very viable option. It was ranked in one of the top 10 happiest cities to live in the UK, and I think that's because it's got a coast, because it's a coastal city, so you've got the ocean there. And I personally believe, look, no matter how bad a day you've had, if you can go and sit by the ocean, life automatically gets better. Another great thing about Southampton is, because it is a coastal city, there's a lot of hospitality and retail options there. So the sector there is really good. So it can help, the students can potentially get work, and you can take some of the burden off your parents by getting a job, should you wish. The university itself, Solent University, it's over, like a lot of universities, it's very historic. It was formed over 160 years ago, so it's got a huge amount of history. And in terms of the facilities that the university offers, it is one of the best universities I've seen in the UK. They've had over £100 million worth of investment, and you can really see that. I think there's multiple campuses spread throughout the entire city, and they do have cutting edge technology. So when you do take these courses with Solent University, you will be learning with some of the best equipment available. The Solent Fashion School as well, creative arts, fashion design is the fastest growing industry in the world, and Solent University's fashion school is ranked in the top 100 fashion schools in the world. They outrank a lot of London, Paris, New York universities in fashion. And if this is something that you're interested in, or it's a subject area that you're interested in, then honestly, again, you look at your CV, and if you can write on your CV that you have studied and got a degree from a top 100 fashion school in the world, that wherever you go, that will open up doors for you. Move on to our final university partner, which is the University of Roehampton, and that is in London. Don't really think I need to sell London to you, but if I do, London is the capital of the UK. 300 languages are spoken there on a daily basis, and a lot like Birmingham, it's got a very good cultural mix. So it's got a very good South Asian community. So again, if a lot of students, is the first time they will ever leave their home country. Some of them will have family or friends in the UK, but some of them won't. So it can get lonely. So the great thing with London is it does have that, the cultural experience of, if you wanted to go and get some food that you used to eat back home, or if you wanted to go to the mosque and pray every Friday, London offers this. Move on to the university itself. So a lot like Solent University, it's got a huge amount of history. This, University of Roehampton was formed by 4 former colleges. They all combined and created the University of Roehampton over 175 years ago. One of the biggest selling points that I can say for Roehampton is, there's a lot of universities that are based in London, but they are city campuses. Basically, a city campus is an office, a building in the city centre, or 2 or 3 floors in an office block that has been converted to become a campus. The University of Roehampton is London's only university campus. So it's got multiple buildings, over 54 acres of parks, lakes, and woodlands, and it's such a peaceful and nice, quiet place to go and study, whilst having the amenities of London on your doorstep. The university itself, a lot like Solent, has had a huge amount of investment. So £100 million worth of investment has gone into their campus facilities, and because it is London's only university campus, they have their own dormitories, and they do offer London's cheapest student accommodation. So if you're looking if London is your preferred choice, but obviously the cost of living is very high in London, the great thing with Roehampton is they do offer, you know, the cheapest student accommodation. So it does make it a really, really good choice when looking at London to study. What I'll do is I'll just move on to sort of some of the courses that we're running. So I'll start with our masters with advanced practice. So every master's program in the UK is a year, but what a lot of the universities started to do is to offer an internship option, because what was happening is a lot of students, you know, historically, look, if you, let's say I was from Dhaka 20 years ago and I came to the UK and I got myself a British degree and I went back home, I went back to Bangladesh, my CV, because I've got that British degree, I would be in the top 10% of the workforce. You know, I'd be able to pretty much go to any company, because I've got that degree, I could get a job. But what's happened over time is so many people have come to the UK and got a degree and gone back home. You know, my CV now is in the top 20-30%. A lot of employers are now looking not just for a degree, but for some actual hands-on work experience of somebody, of a student, or their potential employees working for a British company or a multinational company, so they've got that academic experience as well as that work experience. So obviously we offer that program as well. But how QA differ from pretty much all the other universities in the UK is that every university in the UK will offer an internship option, but what they fail to tell you is the onus is on you, the student, to find that internship. And you know, the internship market in the UK, like every other country, is very, very competitive. And what happens is a lot of students can struggle to find an internship, and they don't get one. And basically, what will happen is their visas get curtailed and they go home. And so even though they've got that British degree or a degree from the UK, because they didn't get that work experience, they feel like they've kind of failed, or they kind of go home demoralized. Great thing with QAs, as I mentioned earlier, you know, there's different parts of our business. So we've got the professional part of our business, which teaches, which trains over 6,000 corporate clients. So we can use that relationship to then help place our students. The consultancy arm of our business works on huge contracts with corporate clients, massive contracts with governments. So if we're struggling to place you, or you're struggling to find an internship, or we can't place you with our corporate clients, we can then put you into a consultancy project. So QA is probably one of the only universities in the UK that can pretty much guarantee you an internship. And it's not just the internship that QA offer. We run a number of different workshops to help you in support with your CV, your cover letters, your interview skills. Because I've worked in recruitment for around 20 years now, and the amount of times that I saw a candidate that was perfect for my client's job, but because they didn't know how, but because they didn't write their CV correctly, or they didn't write a strong covering letter, they didn't get the job. Or if they got the interview, they didn't really know what kind of questions to ask or how to close the interview to get that job, they didn't get the job. So what we do with QA is we give you all these additional skills, as well as, you know, that British degree. We kind of teach you how to make sure your CV stands out from the crowd. We'll teach you how to really write a strong covering letter, so when a hiring manager is looking over 300 CVs or covering letters, your covering letter will stand out. And when you get that interview, you know how to research and do your preparation for the interview, and more importantly, what questions to ask and how to close that interview to ensure you get that job. We also offer a professional pathway. So let's say I'm a student from Bangladesh. I've come to the UK. I've come to Northumbria University. I've got a top 50 university degree on my CV. I've got a year's worth of work experience. I've got all these additional kind of skills on how to write my CV and how to word it. So when I go into the job market, I'm ready. What QA will do is we will give you £3,000 worth of vouchers, which you can then go online and buy additional short courses that we teach to our corporate clients. So now imagine your CV, right? You've got a top 50 university on there from the UK, top 350 in the world, a year's worth of work experience for a multinational business. And now you've got short additional courses on that. I'm sure you'll start to see now that your CV that CV that is going to get you the job wherever you go in the world is going to open up doors, because it's looking very, very strong. You know, these are things that a lot of universities, other universities, don't offer. So what I'll do now is I'll move on to our pathways. So QA, what we do is with 3 of our university partners, we offer a pathway program. A pathway program is it's a foundation year, and this is basically, look, in the UK we have 13 years education, and in predominantly a lot of the countries around the world they have 12 years education. The pathway really is a bridge to get you from that from where you are to entry onto an undergraduate degree in the UK. But it's also so much more. You know, like in Bangladesh, India, a lot of South Asian countries, predominantly all of them, the teaching style is very theoretical. You know, in the UK, we are very practically focused in our teaching. So imagine, you know, you've had 12 years worth of theoretical knowledge, theoretical learning, to then go into an undergraduate level 6 degree, which is, you know, an undergraduate degree is not easy. It's not easy. It's a hard degree to get. And which is practically taught. You know, you have to change your whole mindset, your whole history of learning from theoretical to practical. So this foundation degree really just adds a lot more depth into how the degrees are taught in the UK. You know, from English for academic purposes, teaching you how to research properly, how to write dissertations, all of that. So when you then go on to your undergraduate degree, you can hit the ground running. So with our with the foundation, we offer 3 university partners. So Solent University in Southampton, the University of Roehampton in London, and Northumbria University in Newcastle. Great thing with our pathway programs is, look, there's a huge amount of universities that offer foundation degrees, but what they do is they will keep the students to a side, and they won't let them kind of be part of the actual main campus. All of our university partners that we offer a foundation program with are all based on main campus. So you as a student will have access to everything a normal student would have, from libraries to gyms to everything, that all the amenities you will have access to as well. The great thing, what you will then find is, once you've completed your foundation program, you will then have access to over a portfolio of 200 courses through the 3 university partners that we offer. So with Northumbria, for example, their law degrees ranked number 3 in the UK for graduates who then go on to teach law. Their engineering department is also very strong. They're very, very strong in computer science, IT, digital stuff. Really strong in that. Solent University, you know, art, design, fashion, top 100 fashion schools in the world. That really is, they're really strong in that. Their undergraduate engineering degrees ranked number 3 in the UK. And if you're interested in any maritime related courses, so that's like shipping or port or anything like that, because they are a coastal university, they excel in that as well. University of Roehampton, very strong in the arts. You know, in terms of English, they are the home for children's English literature. They have their own printing press, and they offer the UK's only double accredited dance degree. So the great thing is, no matter which degree you're looking at, your bachelor, undergraduate degree, through one of our university partners, we will be able to offer this to you. We also offer an international year 1. So the international year 1 is for example, let's say you've taken additional education after your 10+2. So maybe you've done IGCSEs or a AS level, then you can pretty much gain entry, but you can't get direct entry onto undergraduate degree. An international year 1 basically is, what we do is, you know, a undergraduate degree in the UK is 3 years. The foundation year adds a year on, so it becomes a 4-year course. The international year 1, what it is basically we take the foundation year and we incorporate into the first year of the undergraduate degree. So your degree will be 3 years. But the great thing is, it gives all the students that additional support. And as I said, the mind shift change from theoretical knowledge to practical learning, it is a big step. So I would recommend any student, even if you can get direct entry onto an undergraduate degree, if you have the option of taking an international year 1 option, I would always take that, because it just gives you all that additional support and help. And statistically, it's been proven You know, if students that take an international year one program compared to students that just take a normal undergraduate level entry onto an undergraduate degree, the people that take the international year one, their end award is always higher. So, you know, the chances of them getting a first or 2-1 is always higher because they've got that additional support. And for the international year one, what we have done is we've chosen business as the progression, because business kind of goes into every sector. You know, any industry in the world will have an element of business in it. So anything from business and accounting, economics, entrepreneurship, HR management, international management, logistics and supply chain, marketing management, tourism management, festival and event management, and marketing and international tourism. So what we do in terms of tuition fees. So with QA, we offer our tuition fees are pretty much the same as every other university. But what we do is, and how it works better for you to come to QA in terms of tuition fees, is there are things where we offer up to a 30% scholarship for our markets. But more importantly, what we do is we offer something called a fee guarantee. So guys, as I said, look, there's a huge amount of pathway providers in the UK, and a lot of them will offer 40, 50% scholarship. And you'll think, wow, that's a really, really good deal. But what will happen is you'll take it because it's cheaper for the foundation. But then when you then go on to your undergraduate degree, they don't offer you any scholarship. So, you know, for example, if they give you a scholarship and your undergraduate your foundation degree comes to about £8,000. When you then move on to the first, second, and final year of your degree, you're going to be paying £16,000 every year, which, you know, is pretty much double the price. With QA, what we don't want to, we don't do that. What we do is we offer you something called a fee guarantee. So, for example, if we awarded you a 20% scholarship for your foundation, what would happen is we would then, when you move on to the first year of your degree, we would automatically give you a 20% scholarship. But what we would also do is we'd do a fee guarantee. So basically what that means is the fee that you paid on your foundation, you will pay for the first, second, and final year of your degree. So if you're awarded 20% scholarship in your foundation, you will get 20% scholarship for the first year, 20% of scholarship for the second year, 20% scholarship for your final year. You know, if you combine all of that together, that roughly works out to about an 80% scholarship. Put that into some kind of context. If you think of it, that would mean for the last year of your degree, you would pretty much pay 20% of the school fees because you've gained 80% scholarship over the 4 years. We also offer additional scholarships, and Solent University has a sports scholarship. So if you have any students, if you are playing for a national team, so for example, if you're a student that's playing for your national team in cricket, Solent will offer a scholarship of up to 50%, sometimes up to 100%, if you're good enough. So, you know, it does really, really reward sporting excellence as well. We also offer a graduate certificate. So graduate certificate is very much like a foundation or for master's programs. So what happens is, you know, if you've got a third class degree, or if you've just got an ordinary degree where you would not normally be able to gain entry onto a postgraduate program, what we can do is we can offer you something called a graduate certificate. So what that is, it's basically a pre-master's. So it's a 1-semester program. You take that, and then that automatically gives you entry onto a master's program. Sorry guys, I forgot to mention with our foundation programs, what we do is we do offer a joint CAS. So a lot of university partners, what they will do is for your foundation, they will give you a single CAS just for the foundation, and then once you've completed that foundation, you then need to reapply for a CAS for 3 years for your undergraduate degree. With all of our university partners, we do offer a joint CAS. So that basically means you only have to apply for your CAS once, and you will get that entire length of your course on one CAS. Saves you having to spend additional money on having to rebook for your visa. Okay, what I'm going to do here is a bit more about the teaching, our education strategy. So This part of the presentation is normally done by a lecturer, but unfortunately I couldn't get hold of one. So as much as I love to hear my own voice, I'm not a lecturer, so I will go through this very, very quickly. But in essence, look, this will go into a bit more detail about how QA teach. So, every university has different teaching standards, and this will kind of go through why QA has got 5 stars out of 5 in terms of teaching and student satisfaction. So everything we do in terms of teaching is all based around the students, all based around you, to ensure that you receive the highest possible academic, to get your highest possible academic score, but also reach your personal potential. What we also do is, we don't just we're not like a lot of universities. A lot of universities, you pay your tuition fee, you get your degree, and then it's kind of out and the next student in. And once you've got your degree, they really don't want to know you. We prepare our students, with QA. Once you've studied with us, you'll have access to our alumni network, which covers the world. We prepare you for not just university life, but for life after university. We have a very immersive student experience. We have welcoming and friendly staff. We have an extended induction. We have encouraging, challenging, supportive staff. All of our teaching is all based around making you as employable as possible. So, when it comes to teaching, what we do is it's not just classroom based. We get you out and about. We take you on industry tours. We have guest lecturers. We have a residential weekend. But what we can also offer our students is, once they've taken a degree with us, you can also get a professional accreditation as well. So, imagine going back to your CV. Your CV is what is going to sell you before you get your foot in the door. It's what opens up interviews. It's what gets you a job, right? So imagine on your CV, you've got a top 50 UK university, top 350 university in the world. You've got a year's worth of working experience. You've got all these short additional courses that you've added, and you've also got a professional accreditation. Let's say ACCA, CPS, EIPS, or CIM. That will then open up so many doors for you, because that's a globally recognized qualification. So, whether you go to Australia, whether you go to India, Bangladesh, UK, Zimbabwe, wherever you go, the ACCA is a globally recognized accreditation. Again, that will just open up so many doors for you. Our teaching philosophy, again, is all practical based. So we have a lot of workshop based learning. We have consultancy projects, all about placements. We also offer students guidance that want to then, if you want to progress onto a PhD or a DBA, we can also assist you there as well. Obviously, look, as I mentioned earlier, QA, we are very technologically focused and led business. So when you come and study with us, you will have cutting edge technology at your fingertips, which will then just help you learn so much easier. Everything from virtual learning tools like Blackboard Ultra, electronic marking, Pantinimo video capture. All of this is at your fingertips to then help you enhance your learning potential. In terms of sort of the partner recognitions we have, we have 5 stars in teaching and 5 stars in employability. We're awarded silver in our teaching excellence framework. We're in the top 50 universities in the UK for Northumbria. It says top 500 universities here, but obviously the new rankings have come out, and it's now 351st. And it was ranked number 1 for graduate startups and top 50 in the UK for research power. Some of the professional recognitions that you can get once you've taken a degree with Northumbria, again, as I said, it's stuff like ACCA, CMA, AAT, BCS. All of these then just start stacking up and make your CV so much more appealing to potential employers. And it's not just the teaching side that QA excel in. I think what we really, really do excel and focus in it's the personal care and support. As I mentioned, a lot of students, a lot of you, when you come to the UK, it will be the first time you've left your family, your home country. And what we do is we have huge departments that are all geared around to ensure that, that take care of your personal support as well as academics. So, we have an ACE team, we have an EAP team, so English for Academic Purposes team. We have support for academic writing, so we try and avoid so we help students avoid plagiarism. A student union team, internship supervisors, internship placement officers, business consultancy supervisors, dissertation supervisors, and an employability support team. A lot of universities, guys, won't even have half of these departments. Move on to our, so this is just some, as I mentioned earlier, look, it's not just lecturers that will be teaching you. We do have industry leaders that will come in and give some do some guest lecturing. So these are just some of the peers that have come in and taught and spoken to our lecturers, sorry, our students. And this is where some of our students have worked. So, places like Hitachi, 6 Degrees, NSN Corporation, Amazon, Everyman, Smart Insider, all of these are globally recognized businesses. And, imagine you've got all of that stuff on your CV, as well as having a year internship at Amazon. Guys, you can just straight away see that this is your CV now will just stand out from the crowd. What we also do, as I said, we do industry tours. So it's not just classroom-based teaching. We'll get you out and about, and we'll get you to go to places like the Guardian News, BBC, Amazon, Design Museum, Museum of Brands, all multinational, globally known businesses. That just on your CV gives you really, really good insight. But writing the fact that you've been to the Guardian newspaper will just open up so many more doors for you if that's the kind of industry that you're going into. So, for example, the guys on our left here, the picture on the left were our students that did their MSc in digital marketing. And what we did was we took them to the Guardian newspaper, which is one of the oldest newspapers in the UK. And they had an in-depth talk and got really good insight into how the Guardian has changed their business from kind of paper, which is a dying industry because we're in a digital age now, and how they've kind of shifted their business focus from paper to digital. Imagine if you're a student and digital marketing is something that you're looking at, and you want to work in newspapers. Imagine if you've got in-depth knowledge of how one of the oldest newspapers in the UK has changed their business model from paper to digital, and you've got that knowledge, and then you go home and then you apply for a job. I can pretty much guarantee that you'd walk into any job in that industry because you have that knowledge. The guys on the right here were our students that were studying MA in luxury brand management. Luxury brands are one of the fastest growing sectors in South Asia. There's a whole new generation of people growing up that want to have the designer bags, the designer clothes, because it's a status symbol. And a lot of the leading kind of globally recognized designers like Louis Vuitton, all these big brands are looking at South Asia and are starting to open up their flagship stores in major cities. So, imagine if you're with our guys in luxury brand management, what they did is they had a in-depth tour of Harrods and how they operate their business and how everything is set up for them to then run their business. Imagine you've got that on your CV. Harrods is probably one of the world's most recognized department stores in the world. And just for you to have that word Harrods on your CV would then just open up so many doors. Imagine you go back to Bangladesh, you could go to any boutique store, any big national or international department store, and you would pretty much walk into a job. So again, with QA, it's not just about teaching, it's about getting your degree and helping make you, the student, as employable as possible. And in terms of personal care and support, this is the final bit of the presentation that I'll go on because I don't want to go on. I do want to answer sort of questions from you guys. But in terms of the personal care and support and how QA again show how we excel and how we differ from a lot of universities is, let's say let's say I'm a student from Bangladesh. A lot of universities, what will happen is, I get my visa, I fly over, and there's an induction date. So I attend an induction. The induction is normally held by a student that the university has employed, and they'll show me around the campus. I'll get a timetable, I'll get my student card, and then it's like, okay, look, this is your timetable, and we'll see you at your first lecture, and you're kind of left to your own devices. What we do at QA is during our first semester, what you as the international student will have is we will take you away for a residential weekend. So we take all of our international students. and we take them for a weekend in Blackwall Grange in Darlington, and you will have a number of workshops and courses, programs that are developed by our engagement people. So basically, what it does is it helps break down sort of barriers. So you'll be put into groups of students from all around the world, and that just helps break down barriers. So look, when you then go into the campus, that's that Chinese student that you was on your team. There's a South American student that was on your team, and it just helps build those relationships and build that network. And it also gives students an opportunity to get a better reflection of sort of deep level reflection on their own experience and performance and that of others, and establish a foundation of social awareness. Things like it's little differences, like things that the way things are done in the UK, social etiquette, all of that. So all of these are covered kind of in the residential weekend. And as I said, look, a lot of universities don't offer this. And this is just a picture of some of our students, international students, really having a good time, which the residential weekends really do offer. And that's it, guys. I hope that's given you a better insight into QA, who we are, our university partners, our courses, and everything. So what I'll do is I'm happy to kind of open up to questions, and I'll try my best to answer those. Was that okay? I can't hear you.
Everything okay?
Okay.
In the screen, see the question. First question.
Okay, Shadina Shaha. Okay, I'm in the last year of my bachelor's. I wanted to study abroad as this is related to UK subject. I just wanted to know how to prepare myself for study. MSc. Okay, so basically what you need to do is just ensure that you've completed your degree, and then basically have a think about what you want to do in terms of specialization. And then, as I said, look, as I mentioned, the UK is a phenomenal place to come and study because it just does open up so many more doors for you. And the fact that there's the 2-year post-study work visa as well, that just gives you so much more chance to gain some more work experience. And potentially, look, if going back home is something that you want to do, the fact that you have 2 years in the UK, you can work in the UK, save some money, and then go back home and set your own business up if you want it. But realistically, I think research is going to be key for you. Ensure that you finished your undergraduate degree, but research. Have a look at obviously the QA university partners. Have a look at the courses, and have a look at the modules, what they consist of, and how that's going to help your. So look, you are here at the moment, okay, and your job is here. And what education does is it builds that bridge to help you get the job you want. So have a look at what passion, what you're really passionate about in terms of job wise or career wise, and then have a look at how that master's program, the MSc, will help you get there. But any questions about that, obviously feel free to speak to the guys here, and they study Xpress, and they'll be more than happy to assist you in that as well.
Okay, your second question is the Northumbria University question and master's program. He wants to know master's program.
So what is the cost of studying in these universities and an opportunity after study? Okay, so look, all of the universities do have different kind of costs attached to them. But if I just cover, for example, Northumbria, pick it up for you, and then I can kind of go through the costs. I'm just talking master's programs, is that correct? Yes.
Master's program. Yes.
Okay.
Master's.
Okay. So, for example, the MSc courses with Northumbria, if you wanted to take a 1-year option, the course fees are coming at £15,500. And if you want to take the 2-year option, which is the option with an internship, it's £18,500. But what we can do is we can offer a 30% scholarship for Bangladeshi students. So obviously you can take 30% scholarship off that price. And don't forget, you will always, no matter which option you take, whether it's the 1-year or 2-year option, you will then also have the opportunity to get the post-study work visa as well. In terms of opportunities afterwards, look, I've covered this very heavily in the presentation. QA, what we really focus on is making you as employable as possible. I can't sit here and guarantee you a job in the UK, but what I will say about the UK is a very open market. With Brexit, we're obviously, by the time if you come to the UK, by the time you've completed your degree, they will have we will have left the European Union, and there is already talks about there's going to be a skill shortage in the UK. So I think the UK will be very much open for business in terms of employing international people. There has been rumours of the post-study work visa going from 2 years to 4 years, just to ensure that there's enough, that the UK is retaining quality workforce. So I think, look, as I said, I can't guarantee what's going to happen in life, but I'm pretty sure that what you will get with QA is it's not just that degree; it's all that additional experience, all those additional courses that we offer, all the additional perks that will then help you, whether it's the UK, Bangladesh, America, Canada, Australia, any other country. The degrees that you gain with us will get you into employment somewhere.
Okay, next question.
Okay, yeah, so it's a really good question. Sorry, I forgot to cover this in my presentation, but look, we do offer an option for students that don't have an IELTS. We do offer something called a QA internal English test. So what we can do is, for students that don't have an IELTS, what we can do is we can do an internal English test. It's done over Skype. Very similar to an IELTS. So there's 4 elements: speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And obviously, if you get the required score on that, you can then gain entry onto the university, or you can then use that to get or you can then use that to apply for your visa as well. So we do offer that, and that is a free service. Okay, let's say Zahid. Suppose I wanted admission in September 2022. That would be the same time for applying surgical scholarships. I think one thing to be added if I'm running a degree going. Okay, sorry, I'm just reading this again. So, if you wanted to apply for September 2022, yeah, then what would be the time for applying? Okay, look. Obviously, it sounds like you're doing an undergraduate degree at the moment because you're going to wait another 2 years. So maybe you're doing the first year of your undergraduate or second year. What I would say is, look, possibly during your during your final year of your undergraduate degree, that's when you should really start to focus on looking at universities. And again, it's really important about what course you want to do. So again, think of your ideal job, and think of how your master's program or your postgraduate program can get you there, and then start looking around courses that will focus on those.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question. Question is that precast interview. About the precast interview, can you please give us the information about the precast interview?
Okay, so basically, with students that are coming to study with us, before we issue a CAS, we will conduct a pre-CAS interview. We will do a document verification, and that's just to safeguard the university partners, to ensure that the students that are coming for the right reasons. So it's just a list of questions. So more about just to test your kind of knowledge on, why have you picked the university? Why have you picked the UK? Just to really get an understanding of your intentions of coming to study in the UK.
Okay. Next question is that initial payment, like that a student want to apply, then before visa application he wants to pay the tuition fee. How much the tuition fee he will pay?
Okay, so for students, we would require. So basically, the application process is like this, right? So let's say after today's session, you think, okay, you know what? There's a course that I'm really interested in. You can submit an application through Study Xpress. The application comes to us. We would then go through that application, and if everything's okay, we would issue a conditional offer letter. And the condition could be that you need to change. You need to. It could be a document outstanding. It could be you need to take an internal QA test, English test. or it could be some additional document that's missing. Once you've met all your conditions, we will then issue with an unconditional offer. And once you've got that unconditional offer, you can then pay your deposit, and your deposit would be £5,500. After your deposit, we would then do the pre-CAS interview. And after the pre-CAS interview, we would then issue your CAS. So the process with the UK is very, very simple as well. And I think that's another really good selling tool about the UK. You know, the actual application process in coming to or applying to become an international student coming to the UK is so much more simpler than, you know, places like America and Canada and Australia.
Okay, thank you, brother. Our question is already we have in 1 hour completed, and all are okay, everything, and we are getting more information about you. And thanks, brother. It's our pleasure to explain.
You're more than welcome. Look, guys, I really hope that this session has been informative. You know, if there's any questions that you've got, please feel free to ask them now. Or I know what normally happens is, you know, we do a session like this, and then we close the session, and then you as a student like, oh, I didn't ask that question. Please feel free to email Study Express. These guys are really, really good. You know, they've been a partner with QA for a very, very long time. And yeah, look, I look forward to sort of hopefully seeing you on campus soon. You know, QA, we do fly out to countries, so we do hold open days with our partners. Obviously, this year we haven't been able to during COVID, but hopefully next year we will be able to fly back out. So, you know, if you're looking to apply for kind of next September, or if you're not ready yet, then hopefully you can catch us at one of the live sessions. In terms of COVID, so any student that is interested in coming to study this September or January, look, the UK is very, very much open. I know a lot of people have been worried about, is there going to be teaching? Is it going to be online? Am I going to be able to go to the UK? Look, all of our university partners are open. We are starting to issue CASs now. We'll be able to fly to the UK, and you will have on-campus teaching. What will happen is that there will be the option of blended. So, you know, instead of having to go into campus 3 days a week, you'd probably go into campus 1 day, and then the next day you'd have an online class and so forth.
Okay, both classes, online and okay, brother. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.
Okay, we want to leave now.
Okay.
সবাইকে খুবই শুভেচ্ছা জানাচ্ছি যে আজকের লাইভ অনুষ্ঠানে আজকে আমরা যে ইনফরমেশনগুলো দিলাম সেই ইনফরমেশনগুলো অনেকটা ইনফরমেটিভ, এবং কুলি অলরেডি খুব ভালো মতো ইনফরমেশন দিয়েছে, যার কারণে কোশ্চেন অনেক কম যা দেখতে পাচ্ছি। সো সবাইকে শুভেচ্ছা এবং ভালো থাকুন, সুস্থ থাকুন, এবং আমাদের সাথে প্রসেস করতে চাইলে আমাদের সাথে সরাসরি যোগাযোগ করতে পারেন। আমরা স্ক্রিনে আমাদের নাম্বার এভরিথিং দিয়ে দিয়েছি, আমাদের অ্যাড্রেসও দিয়ে দিয়েছি। আমাদের 3টা ব্রাঞ্চ অফিসও আছে বাংলাদেশে, ঢাকা, সিলেট এবং রংপুরে। সো আপনারা আমাদের ব্রাঞ্চ অফিসেও যোগাযোগ করতে পারেন। সো ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন। আল্লাহ হাফেজ।
Okay, guys, it's been a pleasure